It was a meeting of monsters. In one corner was the hardest puncher in welterweight history coming up. In the other was one of the most feared middleweight champions of all time.
There have been no knockdowns.
It had Fight of the Year written into the contract, and it destroyed even those lofty expectations. When Marvin Hagler fought Tommy Hearns, the world was ready for the war.
I already know who the winner is. And as for my man say he never fights a man twice, that's right. He's never gonna fight me again, because this is gonna be his last fight.
Marvin Hagler made an underappreciated career winning then. Tommy Hearns was beloved for ending them in one punch. Let's look back at how each man made it to the most violent fight of the 1980s. As always, click that like button and subscribe to stay up to the minute on all sweet science. Tommy Hearns was a skinny kid. Tired of being robbed, he wandered into Manny Stewart's gym in Detroit. Stewart took in the lanky kid and first taught him how to use every inch of his reach advantage. Manny built Hearns from the ground up. Hearns turns pro, gets his first title shot at Pepino Cuevas. Cuevas had been WBA welterweight champion for 4 years. In front of his hometown at the Joe Louis Arena, Detroit crowned its newest champion.
Following it up is Thomas.
Tommy Hearns posted one of the most violent performances in welterweight history. On the knockout, the extended lead hand keeps Cuevas at the perfect distance. The cross counter comes over Cuevas' jab. Hearns hit him so hard he sprained both of his ankles before a second right finished him like Shao Kahn. Hearns would lose the welterweight belt in an epic encounter where Hearns dominated Sugar Ray Leonard for 13 rounds before Ray pulled off the late round knockout. Tommy was slowly but surely putting on muscle, and so he made the step up in weight to 154. Where he overcame defensive genius Wilfred Benitez.
Caught him twice, but did not that time. The other one. Almost every one of those missed except the first one.
The referee would prove as much an opponent as the slippery Benitez, as a point was taken from Hearns for missing a right hand. Not to mention a phantom knockdown in round 9, where a slip was ruled a legitimate fall against Hearns. Even a broken hand couldn't put a damper on the night Tommy Hearns earned his second nickname and title. It was the night the Hitman matured into the Motor City Cobra.
The new Super Tommy Hitman Hearns.
At middleweight, Marvin Hagler was the hardest working man in boxing. Ducked for years before he could get a title shot. The southpaw from Brockton, Massachusetts was 46-2-1 by the time he finally got his against Vito Antuofermo. The defending champion was brave and tough and well-conditioned. But over 15 rounds, Hagler clearly outclassed and outpunched Vito. When the judges' cards are read, it is called a draw. Vito kept his title. A resentful Hagler wasn't given a rematch.
Understand his emotions, but you've got to give it to that man.
Hagler earned a second crack at it after Vito loses to English southpaw Alan Minter. The lanky Brit said before the fight that, quote, "I'm not going to let a black man take my title away from me," which was the absolute wrong thing to say with an opponent like Marvin.
Now all I want to do is destroy and destruct this man. You know, take my championship belt, which I believe is mine, and come tonight, I'm going to do that.
He doubled down on an already legendary training regimen and showed up furious and in immaculate condition.
Minter looking this mark for a very long time indeed.
In 3 vicious rounds, he rearranges Minter's face and the world title picture.
It is a really very bad cut over Minter's left eye, and it's...
Marvin earned his championship, but the British fans refused to let Marvin have his moment.
There's a fight started over Hagler. Somebody's attacking him. The crowd are mad with this.
Hagler would spend the next 5 years smashing everything in his path. His meanest performance came against double tough swarmer Mustafa Hamsho. While Hamsho would repeatedly taunt Hagler, Hagler put a horrific beating on him.
And scores twice again. Again, scores 2 more times.
When the fight was finally called after 11 brutal rounds, with Hamsho requiring over 50 stitches to close his eyebrows. Hagler had made his statement. Nobody, but nobody, was going to outbrawl Marvin Hagler. Roberto Duran, in his prime, was the best fighter on planet Earth, pound for pound. In nearly 40 years of boxing, nobody did Roberto Duran worse than Tommy Hearns. The legend that sent Hagler to the scorecards was quickly sent to the hospital by Tommy Hearns.
We're in round number 1. He's bothered by that cut eye, Tim. He's very seldom ever been cut in a fight. Hearns lands a combination and Duran waving at him to command him, but meanwhile taking punishment.
Hearns caught Duran reaching for a body jab as the right hand found its home on Duran's dipping head. That same body jab setup would help Hearns put the exclamation point on a statement fight. The right hand Hearns hit Duran with might be the hardest punch ever thrown at 154 pounds. The war was now inevitable. Hearns would meet Hagler at middleweight. Tommy promised the world a 3rd-round knockout, as Hagler spoke in vague tones about war.
But I tell you, the biggest fight that I've been waiting for, and that's with Sugar Ray Leonard. Now that he's gone out of the game, now I only have one other thing to do, and that's to fight Tommy Hearns. And I'm planning on breaking every bone in his body.
While Tommy trained to massive fanfare in Vegas, Hagler was locked away in isolation on Cape Cod.
You're definitely scared. I can see you shaking like a leaf on a tree right now. It's just a matter of time before you fall.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, you're never going to make it to the light heavyweight because first you have to get through me.
That'll be an easy test.
Marvin knew he had to pressure the taller fighter before the huge reach advantage came into play. Tommy knew he had to get rid of Marvin before he could impose his sheer strength. When the bell rang, nobody was prepared for the overwhelming violence of the next 3 minutes. Hearns fought with every bit of power he could muster, feeding an utterly determined Hagler living out Winston Churchill's advice. Quote, "When you are going through hell, keep going." A single vicious uppercut would decide the fight. Hagler stepped in and Hearns cracked him. Not only did Hagler take Hearns' evil right hand, Marvin's stone forehead had shattered his fist. Hearns would put up a brave effort, but down his best weapon, it was a matter of time. Hagler fought the next 2 rounds like an attack dog.
Hagler working inside now up top. Half a minute to go in round 2. Hearns trading with him. Hagler just got to the right or left, and another right. He has Hearns in trouble on the rope. Tommy trying to punch his way off the rope. Hagler wants to keep him there. Goes to the body.
Hagler throws low blow. Marvin Hagler wants to turn him into an alley dog, and he's done another low blow. Richard Steele may take points away from him, but it really matters.
Second round coming.
Hagler finally put a brutal stop to it with his Superman punch, leaving Hearns out cold in the third
Backing
round.
off again, taking the right hand. Legs gone at that point. Down on impact.
Marvin was finally given the respect he asked for all along.